the Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
Sheryl Swoopes is in full meltdown mode. She confidently declared that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever wouldn't attract top free agents. But just a few months later, the Fever have pulled off one of the most successful free agency runs in WNBA history. Meanwhile, Swoopes is scrambling to save face, doubling down on her failed predictions. At this point, someone might want to check on her, because Indiana's dominance has shattered whatever credibility she had left.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Let's take a step back for a moment. Yes, Sheryl Swoopes is a Hall of Famer and a legend of the game. But lately, she's been working overtime as a Caitlin Clark skeptic, pushing baseless narratives. She confidently claimed that the Indiana Fever wouldn't attract top free agents due to supposed locker room issues. But now that the contracts are signed and Indiana has built a powerhouse roster, Swoopes is left on the sidelines, pretending she didn't just make yet another failed prediction.
Stephanie White came in and said, okay, hold up. Let me go to Indeed.com and Indeed get some free agents to come in here that want to play, that are accomplished, seasoned veterans. She did all that. Cheryl's been nowhere to be found. Sheryl got a lot of crow to eat, folks. Sheryl could be choking on crow right now. She need that Heimlich maneuver. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, tell her it's okay to come out and talk and say, man, you was wrong. It's okay.
I can only imagine Sheryl Swoopes scrolling through her phone, muttering, there's no way these players actually chose Indiana. But guess what? They did. Natasha Howard, Sydney Colson, Asia Wilson's best friend, Dana Bonner, and Sophie Cunningham all made their way to the Fever. Indiana didn't just win free agency, they dominated it. And now, Swoopes is left grasping for a new narrative as the reality of Caitlin Clark's impact becomes undeniable.
Yeah, I talked to Sydney Colson today. She said that Kelsey Mitchell was actually the first person she hit up because they built a bond here, playing AU for the last 3 years. She said she heard some good things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin as well, so that made the decision easy.
Oh, the irony. Natasha Howard specifically mentioned that she wanted to play alongside Kelsey Mitchell, one of the very players Swoopes once dismissed. And of course, she wanted to team up with Caitlin Clark, the same Caitlin Clark that Swoopes boldly claimed would take years to adjust to the WNBA. Meanwhile, Clark is already out here casually dropping 40-point games, while Swoopes' takes are aging worse than an unrefrigerated gallon of milk.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
At this point, hating on Caitlin Clark has become a professional sport, and Sheryl Swoopes is gunning for the gold medal. In fact, she's probably sweeping the podium, gold, silver, and bronze, standing there with a bitter expression while everyone else celebrates another major win. Oh, Caitlin won't translate to the WNBA? Yeah, tell that to Indiana, who's stacking elite talent like they're assembling the Avengers. Clark isn't struggling, she's thriving. And the Fever, they're right there with her, proving every doubter, including Swoopes, dead wrong.
No, but players who will be free agents next year, there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Let's be real. The real reason some WNBA veterans and so-called legends can't stand Caitlin Clark is simple. She didn't wait her turn. She didn't ask for permission. She didn't tiptoe into the league with a timid, "I hope I fit in" attitude. No, she stormed in, shattered 62 records, embraced the fans, and single-handedly elevated women's basketball to unprecedented heights. And that, oh that, absolutely eats them up inside.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
Caitlin Clark didn't need anyone's approval to become the face of the sport. She has more global recognition than half the WNBA combined. And that's not her fault. That's just what happens when you're a once-in-a-generation talent. Sheryl Swoopes, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, and the entire anti-Clark brigade are just going to have to live with that reality. Because while they're busy complaining, Caitlin is out here making history, selling out arenas, and turning the Indiana Fever into the team everyone wants to play for. Just take a moment to appreciate this. The Indiana Fever, a team that was once ignored and irrelevant, is now the epicenter of women's basketball. A team nobody cared about a year ago, now they're the hottest ticket in town.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
What happened, Sheryl? Weren't you the one claiming players wouldn't want to go to Indiana? Exactly who were you talking to? The ghosts of the Fever's past. Because real players, elite athletes, are signing with Indiana like it's the VIP section of an exclusive club. Did you really think Caitlin Clark would have to beg people to join her? Please. The Fever isn't chasing talent. Talent is chasing them.
Went even further when a game that Sheryl Swoopes was calling for the Dallas Wings, where the commentator was talking about how great Caitlin Clark had been playing. Sheryl Swoopes, silent for 60 seconds, didn't even want to address it. And it got so bad that the game that Dallas then went to play against the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark after the domination of the Chicago Sky, Sheryl Swoopes got pulled from the broadcast.
Somebody check on Sheryl, because she's clearly stuck in 2002. Back when the Indiana Fever were barely scraping together rosters like they were hosting open tryouts at the local YMCA. Newsflash, times have changed. This isn't Tamika Catchings dragging a squad of part-time gym teachers to the playoffs. The Fever aren't struggling to recruit talent anymore. They're stacked. Natasha Howard, a defensive powerhouse, a champion, and an offensive weapon all in one. And when she signed with Indiana, she made one thing clear. She wanted to be here.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court. Because that's like, as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
DeWanna Bonner, a walking mismatch, a dominant scorer, and one of the WNBA's elite veterans. And what was the first thing she did after landing in Indiana? She jumped on Twitter and went to war with all the Fever haters, setting the tone before even stepping on the court.
I think she's a great player. I'm happy to be on the side of her now instead of guarding her. Of course, she's a dynamic player, and you see that in what she's done in her rookie year. And I'm actually excited to see what she's going to do her second year in the league with a little bit, more experience and understanding a little bit more.
Sophie Cunningham is bringing attitude, fire, and enough trash talk to fuel an entire season. And guess who she specifically wanted to play with? Caitlin Clark.
To be honest, I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated, and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, so this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more. But I promise you that I'm just ready to just like win. I'm ready to win. I'm ready for y'all to be there. But like I said, you guys haven't even seen feisty yet.
Look, she's not out here dropping 25 points a night, but she's about to inject that locker room with the kind of energy and fire the Fever have never seen before. Notice a pattern. These aren't just role players being shuffled around for depth. These are legit WNBA stars choosing Indiana, eager to join the Fab Four of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. Meanwhile, Sheryl Swoopes is scrambling to defend yet another one of her awful takes, while the Fever are quietly building something special. Maybe someone should check her vision, because it sounds like she was actually talking about the Las Vegas Aces when she claimed no one wanted to play in Indiana.
You know that I'm very excited, and I really agree with a lot of the moves the Indiana Fever have made. There's not been one trade or pickup that the Indiana Fever have made that I have not been on board with. I'm on board with every single one. And I just want to say the fact that the Indiana Fever have gone out and got these great players like a Natasha Howard, like a Dewana Bonner, like a Sophie Cunningham, the fact that they've gone out and got these great players shows that they believe Caitlin Clark is great right now. They are on board with the Caitlin Clark vision, and it just makes me happy because they're not treating Caitlin Clark like a rookie who is gonna be good in 10 years. No, they're treating her like a superstar who is good right now.